Right, OK. Now, big theme of your manifesto seems to be if public services aren't working properly, then the public can intervene and change those services. For example, if parents are not satisfied by the way that a school is being run, they can trigger a ballot and some different form of schools management will take over that school. I struggle to find it in the Scottish version of this document.
Well, that's not a proposal we're making for Scotland. What we've done in terms of schools is to identify what we think
Why
are
do
the
you think parents in Scotland
well,
do not deserve what you're proposing as your big new idea in England?
I don't think it's that they don't deserve it. I think that parents have particular priorities that they want to see addressed in their schools in Scotland, and those are the things that we've elaborated in our Scottish manifesto.
I'm not clear on this. You're saying that parents in England should have the right to trigger a ballot to change the management of schools that they feel are underperforming, but not in Scotland?
Well, the system of our schools in Scotland is very different. I believe that parents in Scotland have the right to expect that their sons or daughters, when they attend school, when they leave school, will be able to read, write and count. And we recently, through the work of the Literacy Commission we set up, identified the problem that 13,000 young people leave primary school every year with functional literacy
I think everyone in the education system in England believes that children should be able to read and write when they leave school. That's not the question I'm asking you. The question I'm asking you is, your big new idea in education in England is to give parents the right to trigger ballots which can see poor management at their schools replaced. What is it about voters in England that they deserve this, that voters in Scotland do not?
Well, the school system is very different. And
what is relevantly different? I mean, for example, the SNP have been throwing out floating kites about, for example, taking schools out of local authority control, doing some of the things that your manifesto in England seems to be talking about, but your manifesto in Scotland isn't.
Well, I don't think what they're proposing does that at all. I'm saying to you that this is about what are the priorities for those who use the public services.
But
we believe that the key priority is a crusade on literacy, and that is what our priority should be in Scotland.
Right,
and that is what we argue for day in, day out in Holyrood.
Similarly, in the health service,
and we'll pursue in any way that we possibly can.
Similarly, in the health service, Labour Party Manifesto 2010, headline promise, the headline promise on health is that people should be treated within 18 weeks or the NHS will fund them to go private. Why is that not in your Scottish manifesto?
Well, for one reason, the private sector in the Scottish Health Service is massively smaller than it is in the rest of the UK. But once again,
England is just down the road.
But once again, the priority that we identify is that people surely should expect that when they go into hospital, those hospitals are clean, and therefore
yes,
they won't
but again, no one in England would deny that.
Sicker.
No one in England would disagree with you. The question is, what are you going to say to voters on the doorsteps who say to you, hang on a minute, your flagship pledge on health, absolutely brilliant. If I don't get treated within 18 weeks, I can go private and the NHS will pay for me to do it. Oh, sorry, it doesn't apply to me because I'm a Scottish voter and not an English voter.
What Scottish people have been saying to us over the last year is that they expect that when they go into hospital, those hospitals will be clean, and we will not see the kind of problems with, for example, C. diff that we've seen in Scotland.
Yes, but we've
outlined exactly what action should be taken in order to address that. The SNP government are failing to take that action. The priority for the health service in Scotland, in our view, is to ensure that those measures are taken. They are taken quickly, and then the Scottish public can have the absolute guarantee, which they surely want, that when they go into hospital, it will be clean and they will not come out of hospital sicker than they went in. Yeah. That is the priority we identified, and I believe it is one that we share with the Scottish public, and they have the chance to
yes, but as you know perfectly well, the reason that your colleagues in England make these promises is they see what they're proposing as a way of driving up precisely the standards that you're talking about, yet you won't make the same promise in Scotland.
But this is devolution, Gordon. The way in which the health service is organised is different.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just asking you to explain in what relevant sense Scotland is different from England, and that people in Scotland don't deserve the same promises that Labour is making to them in England.
Well, one significant difference is that the private sector in the health service in Scotland is far, far smaller than it is in the rest of the country. But I say to you that the other difference is that we believe the priority in Scotland has to be the implementation of our Clean Hospital programme.
Okay, all right. Look, can't let you go without asking you the question I'm sure you've been dying to answer all day. Do you think Jim Devine should get legal aid?
Well, I don't. I mean, this is something I must admit I've just heard about. I'm puzzled as to why this decision has been taken. I confess to you, Gordon, that I don't know the ins and outs, the detail of the legal aid system in England, which of course is also different from Scotland. But no, I don't think they should, and I can understand why people will be furious to hear that that's the case.
All right, Ian Gray, thank you very much indeed.
Okay.